exposing those like analyzed data through various data services. So you can expect following things from this talk. So I work for MakeMyTrip. So MakeMyTrip is an online travel agency where we have different line of businesses like flights, bus, rail, hotel, car, etc. And to support all these various line of businesses, etc., we have products and web applications. And those web applications and the system and infrastructure which we created and like amid certain events and like so in form of logs. And at MakeMyTrip we treat various logs not just as like printf statements or any other textual stuff. We treat those logs as events and like try to analyze those events in various formats, etc. And those analyzed data will then be consumed by various different components, not just by monitoring solutions, etc., but by various different user-based applications also. So I will talk initially about MakeMyTrip, what are the different data challenges we have. Then I will talk about as I said, like the data which we capture in form of events and analyzing that data through like various tools, etc. And then why centralized logging and like event collection is important in various systems and applications. And then I will talk about capturing those events in structured format rather than like just keep on emitting stuff which is like really made for humans, etc. I will talk about that stuff. And then the data services platform, whatever you have analyzed in form of whatever you are analyzing, correlating various information, exposing that data through various services, so that or RESTful APIs, etc., so that other components within your system, like monitoring systems or applications, can consume it easily. And then you have what are the various inputs we have, and what are the different connectors which we have written to collect and process it, and then expose it through various services. And some of the architecture considerations while defining the whole system, whatever we have taken, I will talk about that. And then I will talk about what various tools which we have used and the API management layer and the service cloud which we have built. So MakeMyTrip primarily has like multi-data center or co-location environment, wherein like we are hosted out of various different data centers for active DR. And like the traffic is flowing on all the data centers. And so one of the challenges, you are not hosted in one co-location and you have every web application, etc., emitting the data into that data center itself. So you need to process it, you need to bring the centralized piece across different data centers. So that's one of the challenges which we have. And we have different type of data sources, in both internal sources and external sources, from which like I said, like it's not a traditional data warehouse system which we have built. It's more of a small different data hubs which we have, wherein we have exposed those data hubs through certain APIs or RESTful APIs or services, so that like you have an integration layer which we call it data services platform, through which various applications and other components can consume it. So primarily we have like online transactional data store, wherein we have like all RDBMS systems like Clustrix, which is like MySQL protocol, and then we have our ERP, which is based on MS SQL server, and then like various other stuff. Then we have CRM, which is again a SaaS service hosted out of UK. So we need to consume it, consume the data and the events pushed into our system through various APIs. So it's not, so what I am trying to showcase is like, it's not just the structured data, or it's not just the logs which we want to process it and try to correlate it. We have web analytics piece, so which is like again hosted out. It's again a SaaS platform through which we consume our web analytics related data like visits, visitors, counts, etc., and various other matrices. And then we have logs in form of web logs, application logs, and user activity logs. So any visitor coming onto MakeMyTrip, we try to associate with a unique user identifier and try to log its whole activity so that we can consume it and like make sense out of more, not just from monitoring perspective, but more from like even doing personalization, etc., and rest of the stuff. And then we have like events and data coming from social media, and again, like so MakeMyTrip whole business is like so we connect to various GDS systems, etc., and GDS is global distribution system, wherein we connect to Amadeus, Abacus, etc., and then try to showcase which airlines and what kind of inventory stuff, etc. And we do have internal inventory or catalog for hotels, and we do connect to various other hotel GDS systems also. And similarly, we need to connect to various APIs for car vendors, etc. Similarly, for rails, we connect to IRCTC, etc. So that kind of events and data and the services. So think about a web application which is connecting to various other systems, etc. We try to log it in various forms and try to capture and analyze that stuff. And various data which is residing in Excel files, you need to correlate. It's not just the data which is moving from one piece to another piece which you want to analyze and correlate with. You want to have analysis done on the process data which is lying on in some form of Excel files or CSVs, etc. Then we use like various monitoring tools internally like Centrion, which is based on Nagios. And then we have Graphite for trending matrices, etc. You want to consume that data, which is like collecting different events from all your systems, networks, web applications, and various different devices within the infrastructure which you have. And then we have Splunk, which is collecting some events, not all the events. So it's very small data hub for us. And then we use Logstash, and the data store for that is Elasticsearch. And then storing and analyzing the event data is one of the data challenges which we have. So one of the things is it's not a problem of just collecting the data and just saying, okay, we have collected those events and now I don't want to, it's there for you to see on a web interface, etc. So we want to correlate that data, we want to analyze the data, and so the challenges is like you want to process GBs to terabytes of events which are generated per day, and you need to serve whatever you are analyzing, you need to be able to expose it and serve it onto a platform which is consumable by various different stuff. So these are some of the challenges which we have. Then building a flexible data ingestion platform. So as I talked about various different data sources in my previous slide, so the data which is going to be ingested into the system, you need to write various different connectors so as to pull the data from those systems. So pull and push APIs, you need to be very flexible so that it can be hookable to any other system. And as we are in e-commerce domain itself, the applications are changing on a daily basis, because almost we have 12 different line of businesses, and for every different LOB, we have product team, etc., who is pushing out changes on a daily basis. For us to be able to define a flexible framework which can consume those events or data and be able to serve it on almost near real-time basis and analyze it. So the flow of events are so users are coming from various different client or browser devices, and we have our website or web applications, which is generating clickstream as I mentioned, we tag every visitor which is coming on to MakeMyTrip with a unique identifier, and through which we try to log those events as user activity streams. And then we have various system and application logs or events pumping onto our publisher subscriber framework, which is powered by Apache Kafka, to consume those log events and pass it on to like so all my applications are more like producer of events, and then you have your publisher subscriber framework, and then you have the various consumers who are consuming that data and processing it, analyzing it. So so think about it, it's very high level. Stop me wherever you want me to go deeper into one particular component. So the very above component is we have a website and like the application, web application, which is interacting with our like traditional data store, which is MySQL. So for all my booking history, details, etc. And then we have like all our call center details, etc. Plus various marketing related stuff pumping onto two platforms. One is Web Analytics and one onto a CRM platform. And then we try to have like we for any near real-time competitions and aggregations, etc., or maybe some of the filterings which we need to do on near real-time basis, we have defined some of various different topologies which is residing onto Storm. Storm is a platform like open sourced by Twitter for near real-time competitions. So Storm doesn't provide any of the data stores. It's just a computation layer where you have like tuples, like the events pumping in form of tuples called like spouts, and then you have series of bolts which are processing units which are doing the computations and aggregating those stuff. And that data is pumped onto so one of the things which I will talk about is like how we capture those events from various different stuff. So we try to log and capture those events in form of JSON, so that we, and like so it's not like any developer can say, okay, this is what I want to log. So there is a proper nomenclature and templates defined within the JSON itself, where we have defined, okay, these are the common set of keys you need to put in, and then you have. So I will explain in coming slides what kind of structure we have defined to capture those events. And because we were capturing the events in form of JSON, right? So it makes sense for us to be able to push that data onto a document-oriented database. So for which we chose Couchbase because of various reasons, like not just MongoDB, etc. So one was like, so as I mentioned, like, so we have multi-data center environment. We want to have like data, not every event data which is collected within the data center is pushed across data center. So we try to define what data is needed for my business continuity stuff, and being able to define various different data services on top of it. So we call that data which is needed as cooked data, like which is being pre-processed, pre-computed in some view, which is needed across the data center. And then, why we choose Couchbase was, Couchbase provides cross data center application, and it has a plugin with Elasticsearch. So we need primarily two things. One was we wanted to analyze the data through MapReduce, so that because the amount of data which is pumping onto this platform is like huge. So think about MakeMatter as like, so in a month, right, we have like 10 million odd unique visitors coming onto MakeMatter, and then every visitor generating multiple page views, and one page view will have various events associated with it. So think about those millions of events pumping onto this infrastructure. So we wanted to be able to analyze that data through MapReduce, so in a distributed environment, and we wanted to have a search layer which can give the same analysis almost near real time. So Elasticsearch suited for that kind of environment, so we chose Elasticsearch for that. And then like why we have chosen some of the stuff is like we wanted to have two layers, layered architecture, separated, like very separated. One is for almost near real-time processing and be able to serve some aggregated data to various services. Another is like using a Hadoop platform for our needs for batch processing, wherein we can run. We don't want to have like a very real-time view created out of it. So finally, all the logs and the events which we are pumping is coming in. So the master data which is residing onto this Hadoop layer, and then we create certain views out of that through MapReduce jobs, which we try to consume it through various different data services. And these services are then integrated with some business rule engine, and then on top of those services we have API management layer. So I think I can skip this slide. So I have already talked about events and the challenges about it. So logs are not, as I mentioned, it's not just used like for either root cause analysis or etc. or like for monitoring purposes, but also powers are like various web applications in terms of like either personalizing user experience by analyzing the web usage data, how users are using and consuming that stuff. And one of the other part is like, so we have security requirements wherein like we have compliance requirement to have some form of log management and some layer where security information and event management, where we want to have like events are pumping and being analyzed, and we wanted to have where we can define certain correlation rules to be able to generate certain events or alerts out of it. So security needs are one of the other use cases which we wanted to suffice with this platform. So one of the things is like we just not wanted to just monitor network, OS, etc. But we also wanted to have like analyze the data which is created by different web applications and business processes also. So that we have a unified platform wherein we are pumping up the data and be able to analyze it and then see the results. So this is kind of a repetition itself. Why centralized logging and why centralized collection of events is important nowadays is then growth in number of applications has increased like to a very large extent, and then we have a distributed architecture, a service-oriented architecture. So it's no longer a monolithic web app residing and serving user requests. It's like a proper, so all my presentation layer and like various different tiers, like persistence layer, and rest of the stuff is like all segregated across and integrated through various protocols and applications. And then we have like cloud-based web applications also, and number of machines and infrastructure size is increasing day by day. So that's one of the important reasons for us to like really look at centralized log and event collection platform. And from talking about from the business and the website also. So so we want to do various A/B experiments, etc. on the website, and be able to say, okay, this experiment is running fine, this, that, and all. All those analysis is done through event collection, and then generating a report to product managers and saying, okay, this is how your experiment A is working, this is how your experiment B, C, D, etc. are working on it. So be able to provide that infrastructure so that they can say, okay, I want to analyze this, and those kind of things. Okay, so why structured data emitted from apps and machines is a better approach rather than just keep on writing why standardization is important. So standardization is important from various angles, right? One is like, so it reduces the effort of you to write various different parsers and regular expressions, etc. And it defines series of templates across. So for example, today, even if you are writing out from an application, you are writing out certain events, and you have defined a kind of a log format or a proper templatized JSON. So you have defined your keys, etc., which are then being analyzed by the different engines. So for example, next day or so you change your log format, or change your keys, etc. So your platform should be flexible enough to cater to that change and not invalidate the data which is being pumped into the system earlier by the different log format, etc. So the suggested approach is so we try to use JSON. So but so any form of structured or semi-structured format is good enough for capturing various events and then pumping out that information for easy parsing and consuming by you can apply various filters if you know, okay, this is how the event is going to become, and then you can define various other stuff. Some key things and to keep in mind is use timestamp for every event, tag every event by some unique identifier, log in text format, avoid logging in binary information so that machines can understand it, and log anything which adds value, which can be aggregated, etc. You can define your categories while logging it. You can define severity, like won, etc. in logs, etc. You can define even priorities or severities by it. Then use NTP so that whatever events you are generating, you use a proper sync mechanism. And then one of the key things in analyzing events is you had to come up with, because this is a massive amount of data which you are pumping onto this system, right? Be able to define those correlation rules so that, I talked about various use cases. So one of the use cases which I talked was security considerations, etc. So all our security devices intrusion prevention system, web application firewalls also are pumping the data into the same platform. So for me to analyze a use case a single, for example, a web application is attacked by n number of hosts, and then how my web servers were performing at that particular time and those kind of things. I should be able to correlate that information across different tiers and across different applications. Not just thinking about, okay, this is a web application, these are the logs of web applications, but able to correlate, okay, if the attack happened at this particular given time, right, what was the logs and events collected from firewall or from my intrusion prevention system, etc. And at the similar time, what was the state of my web servers and what at those kind of things. And one of the other important stuff is make your data ingestion flexible enough so that any applications or any data which you want to consume through events you should be able to pump it onto your centralized platform. Okay, so this part was more of how you pumped your events into a single system, and now we wanted to build a data service layer so that our various components and within the system, like applications and monitoring system, can consume it. So why we need to build this kind of a platform was so that we can write an integration layer. So instead of creating a big data warehouse or that kind of system, we have various different data marts, etc. Exposed to various services, and we have written a wrapper or a service layer through which so it's those are federated data sources for us, and the data service layer, through data service layer we are consuming that data from a single platform itself. So the data which we primarily consume onto this platform is clickstream, web usage data, transactional data source also. So it's not just the events which we are pumping onto our the Hadoop platform, which we tried to analyze. We also pump our structured or like traditional data source, booking data, etc., onto the same platform. So that for us to be able to correlate that information with the booking data, etc., becomes easy for us. So the architecture considerations while building this was it should be non-blocking data ingestion, right? I should not be waiting for events to like either it's not like I have made a service call which is blocking and then I am waiting for a response to come. So I should tag every event with some unique identifier, and so for in our case, right, we need to balance the data processing part across different data centers. Use of memory-based data storage or like for any real-time data, so that like your computation becomes really quick. And the platform which you build, it has to be scalable. It has to be highly available. So and like horizontally scalable by just because it's a distributed network. By just keep on adding various nodes. One of the other considerations was we need to cache the data so as to have very low latency, so that like whatever services who are consuming that data should be able to get a response in like the optimal SLA. And then we have defined a API management layer for not just like for integration of that various different data services, like to have a single repository and a platform saying, okay, this platform will suffice not just as a repository, but it will also provide authentication, authorization, and metering and various other integration platform related stuff. So the top level key task which we have was like collect the data from both client and server side. For client side, we primarily use one cross one pixel call to pass on that JSON event in a base 64 encoded message and then collect that into a centralized platform. And from server side, we because our Java like our application stack is all Java, so we use Log4j Kafka appender to log those events directly onto Apache Kafka, and then various consumers use that piece. And for near real-time data processing, I've already mentioned we use Storm to aggregate various stuff or pre-process and apply certain filters, etc. And for various different pattern discovery or any of the other stuff, also we have written certain like bolts within the Storm to do that stuff. And then we have a business rule engine which is like very well integrated with our BPM solution which we use. So that's one piece. And then we have for our batch processing related stuff, we use Hadoop platform. And the data services layer is like pretty much written using our own Java frameworks. And then we have reporting and search interface, like using various tools, etc. Like on Elasticsearch, we use Kibana as one of the interface, so that any product manager, if he knows, okay, he want to see a complete click stream of a user, he can just punch in that UUID and define a time range, and it can see a chronological order of various events or the user activity which is captured into the system. So the key things is like one of the things which we keep on telling internally to our devs and product managers, etc. is like, let's try to capture everything in form of an event, which is like for us that's the data, and we try to pre-compute certain views based on the use cases, which is like defined by the needs within the organization, and like so that's one part of it. And I've already explained the layered architecture which we have. Like for batch layer, we have Hadoop, MapReduce, and for like any near real-time computation, etc., we use Storm. And then we have serving layer, So what serving layer is doing is like, so for example, Hadoop layer is creating a batch view kind of stuff, and any of the processing which we are doing through Storm is creating a near real-time view. Serving layer is just merging that those two views and providing a query interface to various like applications. So this I have already explained. So for generating the UUID, we use a modified version of mod cookie track, which generates a unique user identifier similar to this. And then we capture the events in form of this kind of JSON template, where we define timestamp, facility, client IP, and various other stuff. And the tools which we use is like, so for our ETL and some of the connectors which we have written is like using Talend as the ETL platform and extending it by writing certain wrappers over it. And then we use, for BI, we use Spago BI and ClickView to, for our reporting and analysis needs. And then we have like Hadoop distribution, which we use is from Hortonworks. And the various other stuff, like for document-oriented NoSQL we use Couchbase, and I've already explained various other stuff. The programming language, primarily we use Java and Python, and R only for data analysis piece, not in production, but like to analyze it and define, okay, this is the algorithm which is going to work. For example, for recommendation engines, etc. So to calculate cosine similarities, etc. We try to pre-compute that stuff and try to analyze if we are going to implement the same stuff in production later on using Java and Python, etc. So for API management, we use, for some part we use 3Scale and Nginx piece, and for the traditional API stack which we had was exposed through WSO2 API Manager. And the key thing is like, so injecting, building of a data services layer into the culture, like, and we are really trying hard. So it's a journey which we have started right now at MeetMetro. It's going to take time, but that's what we want to do, so that whatever. So as an engineer also, if you are pumping out certain events, you know, okay, how that is going to be analyzed, and we should be able to, within this system or centralized platform, we should be able to define, okay, this is how the events are going to be pumped, this is what it is, and then saying, okay, this is how it is going to be analyzed, and the process data is going to be consumed by various different applications. So, questions, if any?
How are you monitoring the GDS?
So we have, so in last year we talked about our monitoring solutions, how MeetMetro monitors various different stuff. So one piece is like, so all our web applications emit certain events. So for example, a web flights web application is connecting to Amadeus, okay? So that will log in certain fashion. And then we have...
Amadeus is allowing you to install some Amadeus?
No, Amadeus is, so we try to... Okay, so Amadeus is like, so we connect Amadeus through APIs, right, through web services. So we do have web services monitoring in place, through which we try to log various events. And then like, there are two things. One is we use Logster to parse those events and push it onto Graphite for trending and other things. And the same events are pumped onto this centralized platform, so that you can have a single view of those exceptions and various other stuff.
And the payment gateways?
Similar ways. Because again, like, so we have like almost 45 different payment gateways to which we connect to. And for us, like, so, because in India, like, as you know, like, the business success ratio for any payment gateway is like pretty less.
Yeah.
So for us to like switch, like maybe for example, this payment gateway is not working, to switch to some other payment gateway and those kind of things. For us, like, that's very critical. So we try to monitor those things, and we have an application written which switches based on the success ratio of payments which we monitor.
what are the metrics? What are the hello? What are the metrics that you measure apart from business metrics? The technical metrics that will tell you that your website is up and running the same way as it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So what are those metrics that you measure? What are the counts or of the maybe the traffic?
Yeah. So for specifically talking about matrices, so we have categorized all our matrices into 5 different systems. One is system, another is network, then we have application, and then we have business matrices, and then we have security matrices. So these are the 5 broader categories of matrices which we capture into our same centralized system itself. Not this one, I will explain, maybe we can take it, how we capture those events or matrices. And then we have defined various, created different snapshot or dashboards out of it, where we have defined, okay, these are based on like our business understanding and day-to-day activities and the learnings which we have within the system. We have defined, okay, as you are saying, okay, so from our business is like more of a very dependent on days, very dependent on seasonality, etc. Right? So we try to correlate that system information and business information with like last week, same day, same time. What's like, so week on week we calculate the different stuff, and we have created a dashboard where like everybody is like also, so alerts are also generated and people are also watching on those dashboards. So we have a dedicated NOC 24/7 team which monitors those systems. So they try to analyze, okay, this is not working and that is not working because of the correlation. So because of certain, so we have provided certain, so you need to have a drill down, okay, if this is failing, what are the root cause, primary root cause which we know from our past experience, okay. This is how things are going to be.
So are they available on this ClickView, is it? Or is
No.
a separate application stack?
It's a separate application stack.
And you rolled out a new UI recently, I guess.
Yes.
And
so we use the same platform to monitor that stuff.
If
so,
I remember, there was a A/B testing going around with a cookie that was being. So back again to the same question. What were you monitoring? Was it like doing a testing at the live environment if the application is crashing, or was it more sort of if the users are accepting the UI or not?
So both ways.
So, but what was more sort of?
So primary, so everything is driven through business matrices.
Right.
Okay. So the things which we calculate is like, so we have visitors coming on to our landing pages, right? And those visitors are converted to shoppers when they go into the funnel. So our funnel is like, so if you go into flights, we have like listing, review, traveler, and then like your booking, ordering, and thank you page. So if the visitor which goes into the funnel, it is like, so so we calculate the success ratio from one page to another page, like, so visitors landing onto MakeMyTrip or any other landing page.
Look to book
and then look to book and various other, it's not just like page by page also. So if they are moving on to the funnel and various other stuff.
And how do you replicate your production environments down for maybe staging and QA?
So
is it a one-click sort of a deployment, or how does it work?
No, it's not.
Do you have like n number of exact replicas of your production?
So we have active DR, okay, wherein like, so we have like we have Chennai and Mumbai different data centers with having same replica. So at any given point of time, if we need to shut down one co-location or one DC, we can take a call and just do it, and then like everything will be like up and running from other data center. So this is one. So talking about your question is like, so we have QA environment which is hosted out of our Gurgaon, like our office DC itself, and then we have staging environment which is there into our data or centers, like co-location environment itself, but segregated across, like we have proper LAN zoning, etc. So it's a separate environment with staging environment which is maintained.
Which is alerting system?
Like through a property filer we maintain, okay, these are the key values. So we provide just a keys or a template, and they provide the fillers for those kind of things.
As you have multiple DR sites, how do you maintain your transactional data?
So that's like master application across data center.
So, but there would be a time lag between the application itself.
We have like dedicated MPLS network for this. Yeah, in some, so that's like with 99.99 SLA, but yeah, there are some events wherein you can expect certain things. But yeah, the failover and rest of the stuff is in place.
So this entire architecture, what you have shown, that is only for the logging and the monitoring?
Absolutely, yes.
How do you scale out your MySQL DB?
So we use ClusterX, which is appliance-based distributed SQL. So we have like 5 nodes. We just need to add another node and we scale up.
Do you have a ClusterX back again in your
Gurgaon?
stagings?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have spent that for even QA.
Obviously.
Yeah. So our QA environment is like again with ClusterX itself, and all our F5 big IP load balancers and rest of environment is replicated in our QA environment also.
Hi.
Obviously, like within QA environment, we don't have IPS, web application firewall, etc. But in staging environment, that is there, because when we are testing out any application, we try to encourage, so all our QA need to verify that stuff within the staging environment, and that is behind our web application firewall. So for example, any cross-site scripting or SQL injection related stuff, or any parameter injection which we want to block, so that can be verified at that level.
Hi, I attended your talk last year also at DevOps Days, and you guys were using Ganglia at that time for graphing.
Yeah, so we have migrated from Ganglia
to Graphite.
So we are no more using Ganglia at all.
Yeah, so any specific reason for the migration?
Yeah, so one is Ganglia supports RRD, and we wanted to have every data point captured, because as I'm saying, so we need to capture our business matrices also. For example, number of bookings, right? That can't be, so RRD will do a roll up, right? With a defined, so it will have a averaged, moving average stuff injected, right? So I can't, for booking, number of bookings, etc., I can't have those that stuff. So I need to capture that stuff also.
Kind of validates my thought process, because we started with Nagios, Graphios and Graphite. We were contemplating moving to Ganglia, but I think we won't do that now.
Yeah.
No, but you were saying with RRD you cannot capture the number of cookies?
No,
we can do that, but the nature of RRD is rolling up. So for example, our use cases or for January